Everyone was terrified of the alien girl. Until I asked her to marry me. The space station floated far above Earth. It was big, beautiful, and full of life. But in one quiet corner of the main hall, there was silence. She sat alone every day, a girl with glowing purple skin and silver eyes. People whispered her name, but never out loud. Zara. They said she had strange powers, that she killed a soldier just by looking at him, that her blood was mixed with fire and ice, that touching her would make you vanish. Children were pulled away when they walked too close. Soldiers kept their hands on their weapons when she passed by. Even robots stopped talking around her. But she never said a word. She just sat there, quiet, still, watching the world go by. Everyone feared her, everyone except one. His name was Leo, a young human engineer. He fixed wires, adjusted old systems, and stayed away from trouble. He wasn't strong, rich, or famous, just smart and curious. Leo had seen her before, many times, but today, something changed. He walked into the food court and stopped. Zara was sitting alone again, but this time, she was crying. Tears ran down her glowing cheeks, shining like little stars. Leo didn't look away like the others. He didn't run. He didn't whisper. He watched her for a long second, then took a breath and walked straight to her. Gasps filled the air, chairs moved, people backed away. What was he doing? He stood in front of her and said nothing at first. Zara didn't look up. Her hands were shaking, and her food tray was untouched. Leo gently sat down across from her. Still silence. Then, softly, he said, "I see you're not eating." Zara slowly looked up. Her silver eyes were wet, but they weren't cold. They were sad, very sad. "I'm not hungry," she said, voice low, but clear. Leo nodded. "I'm Leo. I work in the maintenance bay. I see you here a lot." She didn't answer. He leaned a little forward. "I know people are scared of you," he said, "but I'm not. I think they don't understand you." Zara looked at him strangely, like no one had ever spoken to her like this before. She blinked. Her lips trembled. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered. "They'll come for you too." Leo smiled a little. "Let them come." Another long pause. Then Leo said the words that changed everything. Words no one in the station could have imagined. "Will you marry me?" For a moment, it was like time froze. Zara's eyes widened. Her body stiffened. She looked at him like he was mad. "Why would you say that?" she asked. "Because," Leo said, "everyone avoids you. But I think you're alone, and I know what that feels like." Zara didn't blink. Her lips opened, but no sound came. Then, slowly, silently, she began to cry. People watched from a distance. Some thought it was a trick. Others thought Leo had made a mistake, but none of them came closer. Zara lowered her head into her hands. "You don't understand," she said through tears. "I'm not safe. I was made to hurt people. I didn't choose this." Leo leaned in, his voice soft. "Then let me choose. Let me stand beside you." Zara shook her head. "I don't deserve it." Leo smiled gently. "Then maybe I don't either." The room stayed quiet as the two sat together. One human, one feared alien girl. Something new had started. Not a war, not a fight, but something much more dangerous. A connection. In the shadows, someone watched them. A man in black armor. He pressed a button on his wrist and whispered, "Subject Zara has bonded. Begin extraction plan." Far away, in a cold room full of weapons, lights turned red. Zara's tears were not soft tears. They were old, heavy, full of things no one could understand. And when Leo saw her cry after he asked, "Will you marry me?" he didn't move. He just waited, quietly. But Zara didn't stop crying. Not for a minute, not for 10. And when she finally spoke, her voice was like ice breaking. "You just made the biggest mistake of your life." Leo looked confused. "Because I talked to you?" Zara lifted her eyes. They were glowing now, not with anger, but with warning. "Because I let you live." Zara stood up and walked away without saying another word. Leo sat there, frozen, unsure what he had just done. Everyone in the food court whispered, "Idiot. She'll curse him. He's next." That night, Leo couldn't sleep. Her words echoed in his head. Because I let you live. What did she mean? The next morning, Leo went to work. He fixed a coolant leak, adjusted gravity plates, and tried to focus, but something was wrong. His tools were missing. His locker was open. His ID chip wouldn't work at the cafeteria. It felt like someone was watching him. And they were. In the lower tunnels of the station, someone grabbed him. A hand covered his mouth. A strong grip pulled him into the shadows. He fought back, but the voice whispered, "Stop, it's me." Zara. She looked different. She wore a hood. Her eyes were calm but serious. "They've marked you," she said, "because you spoke to me." Leo was shocked. "Who are they?" Zara looked around, and then she showed him. She pulled up her sleeve. On her arm was a glowing mark, an alien symbol burned into her skin. "They call it a control brand," she said. "Once, I was a weapon. They made me one." Leo stared at it, speechless. Zara continued, voice shaking, "I was trained to kill without thinking, to break minds. I escaped 5 years ago, but they still want me back. And now, they'll come for you too." Leo stepped back. "But why tell me this now?" Zara looked down, like she hated what she had to say. "Because when you asked me to marry you, you gave me something. They fear." Leo whispered, "Hope." She nodded. "They control through fear. But you showed me kindness. They can't allow that." Suddenly, an alarm rang through the tunnels. Zara grabbed his hand. "Come with me." Now, they ran through maintenance shafts and past old doors. Behind them, shadows followed. Soldiers, silent, masked, not from Earth. Zara threw a flash bomb. The hallway exploded in light. They slipped through a panel and into a hidden chamber. Zara slammed the door shut and locked it with a strange alien key. In the silence, Leo finally caught his breath. "What do they want from you?" Zara stared into the dark. "Not from me, from us." Leo blinked. "Us? They don't want me to love. They don't want me to be loved, because that makes me human." Suddenly, a screen lit up. An old recording. Zara, younger, wearing black armor. Her eyes were empty, cold. She walked through fire. Soldiers screamed. Walls fell. It was her. As a weapon. Leo watched in silence. Zara said nothing. When the video ended, she turned to him. "Still want to marry me?" Leo looked into her glowing silver eyes. More than ever. But Zara wasn't smiling. She was shaking. "Then you must be ready, Leo. Because now, they'll try to destroy everything around you." The chamber was silent. The screen still glowed with the old recording, the one where Zara burned everything. Leo sat still. He couldn't forget the look in her eyes in that video. Cold, empty, dead inside. And now, those same eyes looked afraid. "What did they do to you?" he asked quietly. Zara touched the mark on her arm, the control brand. "They didn't just train me, they sold me. 5 years ago, Zara was not a killer. She was a child, taken from her planet after her people were wiped out. Her family was gone. Her world was ashes. She had no name back then, only a number, Subject 39. They brought her to a dark place in space, a floating auction house, hidden behind black moons. The buyers came from every corner of the galaxy," Zara said. "They didn't want people. They wanted weapons. The auction stage wasn't a place, it was a cage. Zara was drugged, tested, and shown off like property. The highest bidder? A group called the Red Circle. No faces, no names, only credits and cold hands. They gave me implants. They ran experiments. They put voices in my head to control me," she whispered. "They made me feel nothing. No love. No fear. Just orders. But one day, during a test mission, something broke inside her. A child cried. Zara was ordered to silence it, but she hesitated. That 1 second of hesitation triggered something human inside her. She turned her weapon and fired on her own masters. She escaped. She ran across systems, leaving fire behind her. For years, she hid. They said I was broken, a failure, she said, voice shaking. But I had finally remembered who I was." Leo sat there, his hands in fists. "They turned you into a tool," he said. "But you're not a weapon. You're someone who survived hell." Zara looked at him, surprised, maybe even touched. "Leo, they never stop watching. That place, the auction house, it's still working." Leo leaned forward. "Where?" Zara stared into the shadows. It moves, disguised as a trading ship, every 30 days. It lands on a new planet. It's protected by laws, hidden by money, and powered by fear. Just then, her wrist device beeped. Incoming transmission. Urgent. Zara tapped it, and a hologram flickered on. A figure appeared. Small, thin, pale skin, and large eyes. Sister, it's me. Leo's eyes widened. You have a sister. Zara didn't move. Her breath caught. I thought she died. The girl on the screen whispered. They caught me again. Please, help me. They're selling me necks. Leo stood up. His heart raced. Where is the auction? We'll stop them. Zara looked at him, scared. If we go there, we may never come back. Leo didn't hesitate. Then we go together. The room darkened. A map lit up on Zara's device. Coordinates pointed to the outer ring of Sector Zeta 12. The auction ship was docked there for now, but they only had 48 hours before the ship moved again. Zara reached into a hidden wall panel. Inside, two strange weapons, slim, glowing, unlike anything human-made. She handed one to Leo. This is not just a mission, she said. It's a rescue and revenge. As they suited up, Zara whispered something to herself. No more cages, no more chains. And Leo, now tied to her fate, spoke back. We're coming for her. The ship was quiet. Too quiet. Leo stood near the window, watching the stars blur past as Zara guided them through the dark zone. They were heading to the place no human had ever walked into, and lived to speak again, the black auction. But Leo wasn't afraid, not because he was brave, because he had made a promise. To Zara, and now to her little sister too. Zara stood at the controls, her silver eyes fixed forward. Once we land, we'll only have 30 minutes before the auction resets. Leo nodded. Then we get in. We get her out, and we burn the place down. Zara didn't smile. She knew it wasn't that simple. You don't understand yet, she whispered. Before we can even touch the ship's doors, they will test your blood. Leo turned. My blood, she nodded. The auction only allows one kind of visitor inside. Warriors. Buyers must prove they can fight, kill, or command. If they see weakness, they shoot you on sight. Leo swallowed hard. So what do we do? Zara walked over and handed him a small silver blade. We fight. On the edge of Sector Zeta 12, floating among broken moons and dead satellites, was a ship the size of a city. Black metal, no windows, no name. Just one glowing word on its side. Entry by blood. Zara and Leo landed quietly on a smaller hangar, below the main decks. As they stepped out, a tall guard scanned them. His voice was mechanical. Present your challenge, Mark. Zara raised her arm. The control brand still burned on her skin. Leo stepped forward. He has no mark, the guard growled. Then he must earn one. Without warning, a steel door slid open. A blinding arena appeared inside, and a giant stepped out. Leo had never seen anything like it. The creature was 10 feet tall, for arms to blades, and no mercy. Win or die, the guard said. Zara's face didn't move. She whispered to Leo, if you run, you die. If you freeze, you die. If you breathe with fear, you lose. Leo stepped into the arena. The door closed behind him. The crowd above, aliens of all kinds, roared with laughter. Human prey. He'll be dead in seconds. The bell rang. The giant charged. Leo dodged. Barely. The blade grazed his shoulder. Blood dripped. The ground shook. He remembered Zara's training. Focus, movement, precision. He rolled under the creature's legs, jumped on its back, and drove the silver blade deep into the neck. The monster roared, swung, slammed Leo against the wall. His vision blurred. Blood filled his mouth. He got up again. One more strike. One last chance. With a final shout, Leo stabbed the creature in the chest. It dropped. The arena went silent. The door opened. Zara was waiting. You didn't win with strength, she said. You won with heart. The guard walked forward and pressed a hot seal against Leo's neck. A burn. A mark. He was now a blood-verified buyer. They moved deeper into the ship. Behind the auction floors, Zara led him into a dark hallway. This is where they kept me, she whispered. My cell was here. Leo looked around. The walls still had claw marks, scratches, dried blood. Zara touched the steel door gently. She must be close. Suddenly, the alarm blared. Intruder. Detected target. Zara. The ship was watching them. Zara grabbed Leo's hand. It's a trap. They knew we were coming. Guards closed in from both sides. Zara pulled out her weapon and said the words Leo would never forget. Let's give them a war. The ship was burning. Screams echoed across the metal halls. Red alarms flashed on every wall. Zara and Leo ran through smoke and shadows, chased by soldiers with glowing rifles. They were not guests anymore. They were enemies. And behind them, death followed. This way, Zara shouted. She kicked open a maintenance door and pulled Leo into a narrow shaft. Pipes hissed. Steam burned their arms. But they didn't stop. Leo was limping now. The fight in the arena had left deep bruises. Blood still dripped down his side. Zara noticed. You're bleeding, she said, breathless. Not enough to stop. Leo replied. She gave him a small smile. Good. They crawled through the shaft and dropped into a room full of cages. Small cages, dirty, rusty, and inside alien children, scared, thin, quiet. Leo froze. They're still doing this. Zara nodded slowly. This is what I escaped. This is what my sister is trapped in. Suddenly, a tiny voice whispered behind them. Zara. Zara turned. A small girl with white hair and silver eyes looked at her. Tears rolled down the child's cheeks. You came back for me. Zara ran to the cage and fell to her knees. I thought you were dead. I was, the girl whispered, until I heard your voice again. Leo smashed the lock. The cage opened. Zara held her sister tightly. I won't leave you again. But the moment didn't last. Footsteps thundered. The floor shook. The red circle guards had found them. Zara handed her sister to Leo. Take her. Go back to the ship. I'll hold them off. No, Leo said. We fight together. Leo, you don't understand, Zara said. If I lose control, if I become what they made me again. Leo put his hand on her shoulder. Then I'll bring you back. The door burst open. Guards charged in. Zara's eyes lit up blazing. Silver like twin stars. She moved like a storm. No wasted motion. No mercy. One guard fired. She dodged and snapped his weapon into. Another tried to run. She was already behind him. Leo stayed close to the sister, shooting from cover. But he kept watching Zara. She wasn't just fighting. She was remembering. Every scream, every scar, every moment in the cage. She wasn't just saving her sister, she was taking her life back. One guard shouted, Zara is awakened. Call the enforcers. Zara stopped. She looked at Leo. Her voice was low, cold. They're bringing the machines. Zara ran back and pulled a data core from the wall. This contains the auction logs, names, sales, locations, proof. Leo asked. She nodded. Enough to destroy them. Suddenly, the ship began to shake. Self-destruct protocol, Zara said. They'd rather burn it than let the truth out. They ran. Through fire, through smoke, through the ghosts of the past. Zara's sister fainted. Leo carried her on his back. His legs shook. Zara cleared a path ahead, kicking down every wall in her way. Finally, they reached the hangar. Their small ship burned, battered, still alive. They jumped in. Zara slammed the controls. Come on, baby, just one more flight. The engines coughed, then roared. The ship launched. And behind them, the auction house exploded. A black star burst into flames. Zara watched the fire from the window. She didn't smile. She didn't speak. She just breathed. For the first time in years, she was free. Leo walked up beside her. We did it. Zara didn't turn, but she reached out and took his hand. No, she whispered. You did. The stars outside looked peaceful, but inside the ship no one was sleeping. Zara sat by her little sister's bedside. The girl was pale, thin, and barely breathing. Is she going to be okay? Leo asked quietly. Zara didn't answer. She was holding her sister's hand like it was made of glass. They fed her poison, Zara said, to keep her weak, so she wouldn't fight back. Leo looked down. His fists clenched. Then wheel. Fight for her. The small medical pod beeped softly. Her sister stirred. Zara leaned in. You're safe now. I'm here. The little girl opened her silver eyes. Is the fire Gone, Zara nodded. Yes, the fire is gone. They can't hurt you now. Tears rolled down the child's cheeks. For the first time in years, she smiled. But peace never lasts long. Suddenly, Zara's device buzzed. A secure message came through, encrypted. Emergency. Priority. She opened it. This is Commander Jeline, Earth Defense. We saw the explosion. You've triggered a galactic incident. Return immediately or be marked rogue. Leo frowned. They're blaming us? Zara nodded. They always do, when the truth is too heavy. They bury the ones who carry it. They landed on a small neutral moon hidden, unregistered. Zara needed to rest. Leo needed answers. He plugged the stolen auction data core into the ship's system. Hundreds of names appeared. Thousands of victims. Each one sold, tagged, tracked. But then, Leo saw something terrifying. Zara, look at this. She came over. Her eyes widened. There was her name. Zara sold to Red Circle. Status, escaped. But below it, Leo. Captured during Z12 event. Value, unknown. Status, watched. Leo blinked. They know who I am now. Zara turned to him slowly. You were never just some engineer. Were you? Leo looked away. No, I lied. Why? Because I wasn't supposed to meet you. I was supposed to report you. Zara froze. What? Leo swallowed hard. They sent me to get close, to study you. But the day I saw you, crying, something broke inside me. I couldn't follow the plan. Zara's hands were shaking. You betrayed me. I saved you. You lied. Leo nodded. I did. And if I have to bleed again to make it right, I will. Silence. Zara stepped back, her face unreadable. But then, her little sister whispered, he didn't lie when he carried me. Zara looked at her. At Leo. At herself. She sat down. Then you'll prove your truth with your next choice. Suddenly, a warning flashed across the ship's display. Tracking beacon detected their coming. Leo said, and we're not ready. Zara replied. She looked at her sister. Then at Leo. We need help. We can't fight the galaxy alone. She opened the galactic data core again. There's one place, one voice strong enough to speak the truth. Who? Leo asked. Zara zoomed into the map. A city on Earth. A courtroom. Earth Tribunal. The place where humans once judged alien war criminals. Leo raised an eyebrow. You want to take the truth right to their front door? Zara smiled, just a little. No, I wanted to throw it in their face. The Earth Tribunal Tower rose like a blade through the clouds. Built after the first alien war. It was meant to hold those too dangerous for normal prisons. Now, for the first time, a survivor was walking in, not in chains but with proof. Zara wore no armor. No disguise, just a plain black cloak and a quiet fire in her eyes. Leo walked beside her, holding the data core. Behind them, her little sister followed. Still weak but alive, the guards tried to stop them. Zara raised her arm. I'm not here to beg. I'm here to testify. Inside, the tribunal chamber filled fast. Humans, aliens, journalists, officers, politicians. Everyone whispered, is that the Red Circle survivor? That's the girl who burned the auction. Why is a human standing with her? Leo stepped forward first. My name is Leo. I was part of a mission to observe Zara, then destroy her. But I didn't, because she's not the threat. He held up the data core. This is. The screen lit up. Names, locations, children, sales. The chamber went silent. Zara took the floor. They trained me to kill. I chose not to. They sold me. I broke free. They hunted me. I saved others. So now, I ask not for mercy, but for action. Gasps, murmurs. The judges whispered. And then one of them stood. Zara, the records show you committed mass destruction 5 years ago. I did, she said calmly. But I was under control. And now, Zara looked around the room. Now I choose. A pause. Then the lead judge spoke. The Earth Tribunal declares Zara is no longer property, no longer prisoner. She is a witness and a survivor. The crowd stood. Some clapped. Others cried. Later that night, in a quiet place above the clouds, Leo and Zara stood alone under the stars. No soldiers. No weapons. Just them and her sister, smiling nearby. Leo reached into his coat. A small ring, silver and glowing. I asked you once when no one else would even speak to you. And I cried, Zara said softly. Leo nodded. So now I ask again, not as a weapon, not as a survivor, but as a woman who's free. Zara, will you be my wife? Zara looked at him for a long moment, the stars reflected in her silver eyes. She didn't cry this time. She smiled. Yes, a small crowd gathered. Her sister held the rings. A human officer stood as the HFY Sci. And under the stars, where her chains were once forged, Zara whispered her vows, not just to Leo, but to herself. I am not what they made me. I am what I choose to be. And from that day on, no one feared her name. They honored it. Zara, the girl who chose love over fear.